for the hype train!
That's right, it's the hype train. I'm your conductor, Jesse Kimball, and with me, I've got the very now happy Asa Gray.
Yes.
He's waiting for me to forget to do that, and Trevor Camp.
What's up?
That's gonna be the crew for tonight. All right, that's our show. Bye.
We did it.
Gotta play Borderlands.
I want to play.
Oh,
I have to pack, though.
I haven't gotten to play Borderlands since last Monday when I played with Trevor.
Same actually.
I have played most recently then.
The little bit of video game time that I've gotten lately, I really want to get Fire Emblem beaten because I need to. I need to beat that game before I just never come back to it. And I'm almost done with it. 70 hours into that game, I'm almost done with it.
Oh
So you're only you're almost done with the first house.
The first story option in the first house, yes.
So you're going to play Borderlands 3 in like 6 months?
I'm only planning on beating this particular story. I'll come back to the rest of it later.
Oh, okay.
Because I am curious about like some of the other perspectives on this story.
But now that you're far enough into this story, if you put it down and come back, you may have lost that groove. And
Yup. And
I've had relationships last shorter time than you've put into this game. Good God, man.
I actually have. Like, that's not even a joke.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it's 70 hours isn't even that egregious for a video game. I have way more hours in Smash Brothers. Especially if you go like Smash Brothers since 64.
I'm pretty sure you have more time on Smash Brothers since 64 than I've been married. Collectively, I bet so.
That's not
That's
true.
years, isn't it? I don't know
Yeah,
how long
I've been.
you've
Yeah, you've been married a few years.
Four
Yeah.
coming
Yeah,
up next month.
That,
You really? You think since Nintendo 64 you haven't put 4 years into?
That's a lot of hours, dude.
You're right.
That's a lot of hours.
All right, do the math.
If you're thinking of
do
waking
the
hours,
math.
35,040 hours.
yeah, no. If you're thinking of like
35,000.
waking hours, then that might be a hair closer.
No, I'm gonna say Jesse's probably put in 35,000 hours in
There's
into
no
Smash.
way.
Nope.
There is no way.
Since N64?
Since N64,
Dude, I was your roommate in college. I remember.
I might be in four
So
digits.
four full years of a 10-year span
Yeah.
has been dedicated to Smash Brothers. That is physically impossible.
Oh, I know. At this point, I know I'm wrong, but I'm just digging in
Okay,
for
that's
fun.
fine.
Well, and in fairness, Smash 64 came out in 1996, I think.
Yeah.
Or 1998.
Yeah, that was 10
One
years
of those
ago.
two.
Yeah, that's.
Well, no, I was going to say
me
it's more
hold
than
on to
10.
this.
I was going to say it's more than 10 because it is more than 10.
More than one person here is lying to themselves today.
Yeah, because it's more than 10 years, but either way, the point stands. No, I've absolutely put more than 1,000 hours into all 5 Smash games I've gotten into, but I definitely have not put in 4 years worth.
Not 4 years. Anyway.
And I definitely have several hundred hours into League of Legends is probably the other one that I had an absolutely dumb amount of time invested into.
I'm trying to think of games I've invested time. If you take out Assassin's Creed, like the series, it's probably, I want to say it's probably Halo. Halo 2.
Oh, yeah, we put a buttload of time into Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Yeah, that was like the majority of my high school.
Yeah, trying to get Trevor out to Halo parties. His parents did not want him going out.
That's because like the first time you took me to a Halo party.
Oh, I pulled up with Steven Williams.
Well, you rolled in with Steven and like in your old hoopty, like your murder machine, like Jesse drove a car that like you would just get pulled over randomly because it looked shady.
Yeah, I absolutely have.
And then like took me to a house where like everyone, I couldn't half the people looked like they were like in college, but clearly they weren't. And it was just like a bunch of 16-year-olds hanging out, like smoking in a house. And I'm like, I was
I'm
like,
a
where's
good kid.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a good kid. Where's Where's the adults?
Yeah,
My parents will want to know where the adults
In
are.
fairness, we went to a wealthy neighborhood, a neighborhood where if they saw my car, they would call the police.
No, we didn't.
Stephen Williams lived in a very nice
We didn't
neighborhood.
go to his house.
Oh, I thought we did.
No, we went to
Whose
some
house?
I don't know.
No,
So-
the first one I took you
it was
because
by the college,
yeah,
by the graveyard over there.
my little brother wanted to have a little Halo get together at Tim. I'm not going to say his full name.
That'd be good.
Guy's name is Tim. It was at his house, and he lived in a house that his parents owned. So in high school, he lived by himself in a house that his parents owned.
And it showed.
Yeah. So I brought Trevor with me.
There was
because I
furniture
didn't-
in an academic sense.
because I didn't want to just because that actually was not the one I brought Steve Williams to.
No, yeah, I think he showed up like the second time. The first time was just you.
Yeah, the first time was probably just me, and I did roll up in the '85 Oldsmobile because Trevor didn't know what I drove. I think at this point because we kind of
He just knew you had a vehicle.
yeah, he knew I had a
Yeah.
vehicle. We went to high school together. We bonded over Halo and geometry class.
I mean, me then didn't give a shit.
your parents.
Sorry, cursing.
Yeah.
Mark that. I didn't
yeah,
care.
you get one.
My parents were. They were like, "Who's this kid? My kids
Yeah,
are kids hanging out with in this hoopty."
Once Mama Camp got to know me, everything was fine.
Oh yeah, you were family at that point.
But it definitely the impression that I gave off just by my car was less than ideal.
Rolling up in that thing. Was it rocking the black System of a Down T-shirt with the Jesse Angst bowl cut of the 2000s?
I did not have a bowl cut.
You had significant bangs.
I did. I had Patrick once called them luscious locks. No, my hair used to just be super long. Like it was more like the
Dude, it was kind of a bowl cut in high school.
definitely not a bowl cut.
I'll look for pictures.
I mean, you could find them. It was not a bowl cut. It was like the I'm trying to think of it was long. It was long and shaggy. That's all that really matters. Point is, yeah, we had a lot of time in Halo back then because after that it became easier to bring Trevor to places.
Right.
Yeah, once my parents figured out Jesse didn't sell drugs.
Everybody thought I was on drugs in high school.
Everybody also thought I was on drugs. Well, everybody just thought I smoked a lot of weed because I had long hair and looked like a hippie.
Genuinely thought you were getting ready to say because I smoked a lot of weed.
No, I did not even touch weed until I think the first time I smoked weed was after I graduated high school, and I think I tried it 4 times before I was 25. That was it. After 25, that changed, but still.
I think probably Pokemon is probably the series that I have the most hours in. I think. But
Well, that
it's
game's
hard to
a
say
grind, so I believe that.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean any
And there's
RPG
so
like
many
that.
of
It's the
them.
same thing with Fire
Yeah.
Emblem.
Yeah.
You would probably have a shocking number of hours in a Fire Emblem.
If we look at the franchise long,
Yeah.
I probably have a shocking number of hours in Fire Emblem.
Because any RPG like that, because I play a lot of games, but I don't stick with a lot of games.
No,
I
that's
kind of
fair.
play until the next thing comes out, and then I get distracted and don't go through. That's why I haven't started Control yet. I bought Control the weekend after it came out when it was on sale.
Looks so good.
And I'm very excited to play it, especially now that apparently the patches hit, so the game actually runs well.
Yeah,
Because it was having some
performance issues.
Yeah.
Because a lot of games, apparently Microsoft's implementation of DirectX 12 was not ideal, and a lot of games have been really struggling with that.
Well, even on console, because even PS4 was. I've seen it. I know what High School Jesse looks like.
That is a bowl cut, sir.
That is
That's
not
not
a
a bowl cut.
That's
Alright.
also college, Jesse.
No, bowl,
No, that's
bowl cut would be
that's
everything is
around Russia.
bowl cut is
Yeah,
everything.
we were in college when we went to Russia, homie.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway, bowl cut, yes.
Bowl
Yeah.
cut is it's even all the way around.
Yes.
With
Alright, fair
then
enough.
nothing underneath.
undercut.
It's a
pretty much.
bowl
Yeah.
cut that was long in the back.
It's not
What?
I'm just trying to detract
so
for the fact that
desperately
I
wanted to-
also had a bowl cut at one point. Just trying to make this soften. Thanks, Jesse. Just
No,
couldn't give it
Of
to
all
me.
of the regrettable things that I looked like growing up, I never had the bowl cut.
And see, that's exactly the point I was trying to make. My little brother, on the other hand, absolutely had a bowl cut. He was excited to receive his bowl cut the first time.
And then eat ice cream out of it.
Do what? No, that's yeah. Of all the things, there's a lot of blunder in my years. Bowl cut was never part of it. But yeah, that was definitely still college Jesse though.
I'm waiting for my 8th
fair.
grade. Like I think I need to figure out when my cake day is because I'm pretty sure my 8th grade school picture will get me some sick karma.
My God,
on Wonder
Jesse, you
Years.
look
Wonder Years.
so. I'm looking at these pictures. You look so young, and then I realized how old we are, and
Yep.
I'm sad now, and I'm putting my phone down.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's almost been as long since those pictures were taken as we were old in those pictures.
Stop it. Stop it, you monster.
Oh, it's disgusting.
You disgusting monster. So I accidentally saw a picture of myself, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Young Trevor, especially back then, Trevor was a lifeguard. So like right now, if you find him, like people would almost describe his hair more brunette than anything else.
Yeah, I get brunette, and I get ginger on occasion.
I don't get the ginger.
I
at
don't
all.
either. I don't
That doesn't make
either.
any sense.
I'd give it like a very, very sandy blonde.
Yeah, like that's probably the most accurate, but like just glancing at it, especially
Yeah.
like even in this lighting, like yeah, you could say brunette and then
I'm gonna
keep
be-
looking at it.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys.
Yeah,
I'm 30 years old and I don't know the difference between brunette and brown.
I think brunette is brown, isn't it?
That's what I always assumed, but then some people say people are like, "Oh, and with the brunette hair," and I look, and that's not brown. So I don't know.
I don't know. I always say brunette's like brown to black-ish.
Yeah,
dark,
like dark
And
brown.
I've
like
seen it
dark
also-
brown fading into black.
See, but I've also seen it like on that spectrum too, and I'm like, that doesn't. I feel like it's just one of those made up words that everyone just pretends they know what it means,
That's a distinct possibility. Like,
but in reality, it's.
I've always thought I've known. Oh, you found a picture of me and you from back in the day.
Yeah, we're adorable.
Yeah, that's
Put
me.
the-
That's me and
send
Trevor
it-
in high school.
Send it to Jesse so we can put that on like the Facebook page or
that's
something.
that's on Jesse's Facebook.
Well,
Save the picture and send it to me, so I
yeah,
don't have to.
so
look
we
at
don't
it.
have to dig for
So you don't
it.
have to dig for it. All right.
Yeah, that was actually
Photoshop. I'll send you a picture from Facebook. Just Photoshop it.
Nice.
so. Fun fact: that was senior year. I had just gotten, because this was before camera phones were really a thing. I had just gotten as a graduation present a hand-me-down digital camera.
Oh yeah.
And I was taking pictures of everything.
You want me to send it to the hype train?
Yeah, that's
Group
fine.
message there.
Dalton's gonna be real
Yeah,
confused.
just confused Dalton.
Yeah,
So
what are you gonna do?
I have a ton of pictures. Like I have like 3 different Facebook albums of basically it was during our last week of senior year in the challenge room.
Yeah, there's a lot of photos of you, like selfies with you and other people in here.
Yep.
Dalton already commented.
Yeah,
Didn't
there's
take long.
a lot of pictures of that I took during that time period because I was really excited about. Like I know, like it was a hand-me-down digital camera. It was not a good one. Like even for 2007, it was not a good digital camera. But it was the first digital camera I had ever had, and I was super excited to have it. And yeah, I took so many pictures.
I don't know if you saw what Dalton posted. He said we looked like we could be in a Hanson cover band.
You know, that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, I had
Because
some hair.
yeah, Trevor and I had similar length hair, but the difference is Trevor's hair is redonkulously curly.
Oh yeah.
And especially back then, the point I was getting to, he was a lifeguard. So like right now, sandy blonde at best, if you're looking at it. Bleach blonde in high school.
Platinum blonde.
Because he was constantly in and out of a pool. Because again, lifeguard. He had been a lifeguard for several years at that point.
I was a bronze god.
Well, you were bronze.
Cupid's a god. Fuck off. Dang it, I did it again.
That one I'm gonna have to mark. Because, F bombs are.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to.
So
edit
what
the
show is
F-bomb.
this? Are we in
Sorry.
the pre-show
I'm
still?
sorry.
Like,
I got it.
Nope.
I don't know what my problem is.
language.
Language is clearly your problem. Okay, so
I've
let's
never
get
had
on.
this issue before.
Right? Like
That's what they always say.
Mm-hmm.
I swear this never happens. It must just be.
This is
must
us
just
going
be
down
you.
memory lane. We gotta.
Asa, what's bringing you joy, homie?
All right. So since this show's already a little bit not what it's supposed to be, I know this is supposed to be the super happy fun time, like what the hype train, what we're hyped about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn this into the disappointment tugboat.
That changes the intro.
Yeah. Well, deal with it because the PlayStation State of Play was today,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't get a single words choice that Trevor used thing for Batman. And that makes me very angry because they were leaning into it hard. We got the tease from the first time WB Montreal tweeted in 4 years. Then they followed it up just showing us what all the images are. And it's like, okay, this is some lead in. Like if we're building to something here clearly. And the going theory that I've seen, especially because the only other person I know is excited for this as I am is Barrett Courtney from Kind of Funny. And he's like, if this is building up to a video game, like the video game awards announcement, no, you gave away the grand finale. And now we got to wait like 6 months until when the Game Awards are in January, usually, I think.
Something like that.
No. Just, you're making it. We know you're making it.
Just give it to
Capture
us.
the
That's what
night.
it is.
Just give it to me. Just
A
tell me
title.
what it is. A title. Just confirm that it's real. Like, I know it is. Just tell me that it is. Just tell me. Just tell me. All you got to do is just say, hey, this game in a year. I don't need, like, 2020. Cool.
2022, whatever. That's a little far out.
No, like,
He's like, hold on.
let's hold up there.
Back up.
Because I do think this one is going to, because like we said last night on Nerd Up, I almost said Nerd Train.
Nerd Train.
You're on Nerd Train.
I'm pretty sure this means that the Rocksteady game is going to be a next-gen game. It's not going to be for Xbox One, PS4.
Oh.
But that means this one has to be this generation. So just give it to me. Just tell me. All you got to do is just I'm not happy. Not happy, Jesse. That's not bringing me joy.
No, I get you.
It is a sad tugboat.
I meant to look up what the Inside Xbox was because but I forgot and I went home and tried to get as much.
I don't think any big
productive
news
things.
broke out of it.
They finally talked about a little bit more of the xCloud, but I want to know what they talked about with the xCloud because that's honestly, like, that was the thing I was most looking forward to of that presentation. So, but things that are actually bringing me joy, I've only seen the first episode and I need to get someone's HBO information because I have to see more of the Righteous Gemstones. So
I've been meaning to check them out.
so that the weekend that I was over, I literally spent the entire weekend at Jesse's.
Oh, I know. I came by. I smelled.
Easy.
Hold up.
Easy.
I brought changes of clothes and deodorant. Like,
Yeah.
I did that to avoid that exact problem.
Yeah, and kids in high school brought a can of Axe to avoid that problem too, but it don't
No,
always
I
work.
brought actual deodorant,
He did.
not Axe.
It is
'cause
not a
Axe is not
substitute for a
deodorant.
shower.
It's not, but I also am not a smelly person.
We also weren't sweating.
Yeah, I wasn't
like
working up
it's-
a sweat. That was just
Let me just give you guys a hard
stagnant.
time.
No.
No, you cannot
You
have
will
this.
not.
We will not be disgraced.
If they won't tell me when this friggin' Batman game's coming, you get nothing.
We didn't even drink a ton of soda or eat a ton of pizza.
I'm still working through it at work.
Same. I still have that massive pack of soda.
It's just, I came back with one and Mandy was like, oh, so that's yours? And I was like, yeah. I'm not answering questions. No further questions.
No further questions, please.
But so that weekend, that Saturday, we were eating breakfast before, and like Andrew came out and
What'd you have for breakfast?
cold pizza.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. We only got pizza that Friday night.
Yeah, everything. We went to we left the apartment Saturday night and went and got Taco Bell.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, yes, it was Coke Zero, Oreos, and Cheez-Its, and that was my entire diet.
I'm sure the fart fest in there did not smell at all.
We are civilized human beings.
You are men?
We would have bragged about it if it was. Unfortunately, like, I'm honestly a little disappointed to report that it really wasn't an issue.
We need to get your roommate on here, Jesse. I feel like he'd give us an accurate report.
No, he stayed in his room. He didn't want to.
Yeah,
He wanted no part of our shenanigans.
He came out like said we were adorable and
Yeah.
then walked back into his room.
He did give me the most. Okay, so real quick, so this story, and then I'll go into Righteous Gemstones. So
you're good.
Jesse was in bed. Andrew got up. I was up. I was reading that because that's when I read "Something Is Killing the Children," which
yes.
was again phenomenal. So I'm like reading comics or on my phone or something. Andrew comes out and he's like, "I'm gonna go and get breakfast. Do you want anything?" And I was like, "Oh no, thank you. We got cold pizza and Coke Zero. I'll be good." And he genuine, oh, The actual, like, palpable disappointment.
He's disappointed you as a person.
I know.
As a human.
And it was equal parts hilarious and heartbreaking. Because I felt like I let down my parents or something. Like,
I feel like you definitely let him down.
he had
in that
that
moment.
because he even said, he's like, I had my maternal instinct kicked in, and it breaks my heart a little. But so he came back, and we watched the first episode of The Righteous Gemstones, which is John Goodman, Danny McBride, and Adam Devine are ministers in a megachurch that John Goodman is the patriarch of. McBride and Devine are his sons, and they're, co-ministers. It opens with them in China doing a 24-hour baptism event of just like baptizing as many people as possible in a giant wave pool. But then at some point, like, the wave pool turns on, and it just.
And just gets better from that.
I didn't know how long the episode was. So, no less than 4 times something happened, and I was like, okay, so that's that's a good cliffhanger. And then it just kept going until it got to the actual cliffhanger of the episode. And I'm just like, holy noise.
I'm the only one who gets to cuss.
Apparently. I'm better than you. I really wanted to just be like, I'm a professional, like, and really just like ruin everything.
At that point, I would have just called it an uncensored show. The next F-bomb that hits, it's going to be an uncensored show.
It's not going to be me.
Don't do it on purpose.
I'm not going to do it on purpose. I swear to you, I will try not to.
The fact that it didn't immediately lead into a just kind of blows my mind.
I actually fully expected it from Trevor.
But no, it is super funny. I haven't told you this, but the number of times that I have said to myself, "Why for, Daddy?" And just
I set you up for it a minute ago. You didn't hear me.
And then just started to giggle, like, to myself out loud at work or in front of people, is unnecessary.
The post office, in the bathroom stall.
So, I saw it. I don't need a thing. I need to get HBO information, because that first episode was amazing.
It really was. So, because I was telling Asa about the show. Had you
never even heard of it.
Okay, so
I'd seen all the previews for it.
So we were going up to Villainous Grounds on Friday, and I'm like, because so Friday, without giving too much information away, events transpired wherein I was able to binge watch the first 4 episodes of the show, because that's all that was out at the time, on Friday. And then we're on our way to Villainous Grounds, and I'm like, Asa, have you heard? And he was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, you would love it. It stars. And then I gave him, the synopsis there. And he was like, mind blown.
How do I not know this exists? Why was I not included in the newsletter?
They had me at John Goodman.
So
right?
At a certain point, he kept talking, and I was like, sir, a good salesman knows when to stop selling.
So then, the next morning, like, I wake up, and I mentioned to Andrew, I was like, so have you heard of this show? And he said he had thought he heard of it, but he wasn't really sure what it was or anything. Gave him the same synopsis. And I was like, all right, before we get back into Borderlands, I'm going to make you guys watch this first episode. Andrew's like, completely fine with that. Asa's same boat. Yeah, so I made them watch it, both of them, just.
You let us watch it. Make us do nothing. You allowed us to have the glory of Righteous Gemstones be
it's so
given
good.
to our eye.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, so I really I need to see the next few episodes, because it's so good. Other thing that's bringing me joy is The Good Place. We're rewatching that because the new season starts like in 3 days, I think. 3 or 4 days. It's the final season. Very disappointed that it's the thing of, again, I get it. He had a specific vision, and now he has achieved that, so they're cutting it off there instead of like forcing it.
Yeah,
it's probably good. Let's be honest.
Anytime people talk to Bryan Cranston has a great line of when they're talking about, man, I can't believe Breaking Bad is ending. It's so good, and he's like, I would much rather have people say, I wish I could have gotten more of that show than, oh, that's still on.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay. I totally get it, but I'm still bummed because, selfishly, I want it to go on forever because Chidi has my whole heart.
And that's one of those shows, though, like, I feel like there is a set point.
Yeah, at a certain point, like, but it's also one of those shows that has, look at like the season finale of season 3 and the series premiere, and it kind of feels like totally different shows.
It really
does. And I kind of want to see how it would continue to evolve and change from season to season, episode to episode.
It's just one of those things, like
but at a certain point,
the
there is a
storyline.
ceiling.
Yeah, there's a ceiling line of where that plot line can go.
And then if you wait long enough, they'll make a movie.
Whew. I haven't seen the trailer for El Camino yet.
Oh, it's real good.
I haven't watched the trailer.
Super non-spoilery too. Like it's just
Good.
clips of stuff.
Just barely.
The only thing like that I'll spoil for you from the trailer that spoiled it. Jesse has not lived a happy life since then.
Oh, you bastards!
Let's be honest.
Let the boy alone. Leave the boy alone. But I'll watch it, and I will, and then I'll watch the movie, and all will be right. The last thing that is bringing me joy, other than the ongoing stuff, and like, if you want to hear true joy, go back to last night's episode and listen to me talk about James Tynion IV taking over the Batman run, cause I'm here for it. In other comic book news, or not, it's not news at all. I finally started to read Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run.
Oh yeah,
where he picked up after Dan Slott left at issue 800. And I kind of love it.
Right?
I'm only like 4 or 5 issues in, but I'm super into it. The scene with Mysterio in the courtroom, I need to know what that is. I need to know immediately everything about that. Cool. Like he's doing some really cool stuff with the character because Peter Parker is at his best when he is not happy. It's much like the X-Men. The X-Men are at their best when they are all about to go extinct.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Or at their most interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Peter Parker as a character, it's heartbreaking to say, but he's kind of like Batman. He's not allowed to be happy.
A little bit.
Because when he's happy or content, that's when things go terribly wrong for him, and it never lasts. So that first issue is just like, hey, Peter Parker's got some cool stuff going for him. Let's just go ahead and remove all of that from your life. But this, like what they're doing with Doc Connors, I think is really, really interesting. What they're doing with him and MJ is really interesting. They're bringing back the thing that caused him to be Spider-Man, which I guess that probably has already resolved itself. I think there's the whole like little 1-page things building up to Kraven, because I know he becomes a much bigger part in the story later in the run.
Amazing Spider-Man event for it. Yeah.
So I love that they're kind of teasing that out as well. You have this background thing with the Millipede Man or whatever. I love that. Like that's super interesting. It's so much of it is just really, really good, and that makes me really happy because like Dan Slott had a very mixed run. I think he got more flack than he deserved, all things considered.
It's one of those things like he had such a long run that's like he told some of my favorite Spider-Man stories and some of my least favorite Spider-Man stories.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very much digging that, and that's kind of what I actually got a bunch of stuff that I've had to work on the last like 2 days though, so I haven't had time to read at work.
Right.
Which I mean isn't a bad thing, but
No, most people don't.
Yeah, no, I'm aware that I'm lucky in that regard. But yeah, so I'm excited to get back into it. I might read a couple issues tonight, because on my phone.
Fair. Yeah, no, I've really been enjoying Nick Spencer's run. It's one of those things though with Amazing Spider-Man. I have trouble like recommending it to a lot of people because I have what is good for me when it comes to Spider-Man. It's a lot easier for me to like just be happy reading Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Like even when it's not great, I'm still like Spider-Man.
Swing from webs.
Yeah.
There are exceptions of like books that I'm reading with Spider-Man, like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I recognize that as just truly great material. Like Tom Taylor is just killing it with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Those are all. I have the physical issues I need to read.
You really do.
That and Daredevil and House and Powers.
Daredevil's also really
caught
good.
up on Batman.
I bought a short box for all the comics I need to read.
I went to go buy a long box. They didn't have any. So I bought a short box, and it was not enough.
Was it just for the things you haven't read yet?
No, I'd read some of them.
Oh, see, my short box is just for haven't read.
So I think I not gave up, but like I fell behind on Flash at like 30-something, and I kept buying through 75.
It's kind of like me and Batman.
So it's like I have that huge, like I have a giant collection of the Flash Rebirth run. But yeah, I haven't read maybe like half of it.
I stopped reading Batman right after the wedding.
That's kind of where
I
There's a-
still have everything from then to now. I
It's-
haven't read.
honestly, like you probably have done it correctly.
Was that the time to stop?
Like, well, I mean, that's
The immediate.
because it's still been like pretty good. Like, there's been good stuff in there. Like the immediate follow up to the wedding is actually a really good arc, and I liked it quite a bit. But it slowly starts to feel a lot like filler. But filler is always more tolerable when you have the next thing right there.
It's true.
So I think like where you're at right now, if you just started reading again and like binging through it, you would enjoy it a lot more than like how I've enjoyed it.
I would honestly wait another 6 months and let City of Bane resolve.
That
Yeah.
won't take
That's
6 months.
85.
That's only,
Well, it's 85. We're at 79.
I'm probably canceling my
but it's
Batman
twice
anyway.
monthly.
It's not anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, DC
okay.
stopped doing the twice monthlies.
I thought they were finishing it. I thought they were starting. I thought they were finishing the twice monthlies in December.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's when King's run was supposed to end. I thought.
I'm gonna double check because I thought it was sooner than that. But I also
Either way-
have not been keeping track of how often I've been buying Batman. It's just Villainous Grounds hands me a stack of comic books, and I say, "Yes, thank you. Here's money."
Yeah, that's fair.
about
I want to
right.
say like I get an issue of Batman every time I go there still, but I might not be. Either way, Trevor, to your point about dropping Batman, since you're already where you're at, I'd recommend finishing it out because the new creative team is incredible. James Tynion the fourth and
Yes, it is. Since you mentioned it, James Tynion IV, he did the Detective Comics run from Rebirth at the very beginning.
Yeah.
The best thing to come out of Rebirth. I will not accept ats. He also is responsible for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Batman crossover, which is magical.
I don't know if that's good, but I'm going to take your word
It's
for it.
wonderful.
Got it.
You know those wars you would have with your action figures when you were a little kid because you didn't really have friends, so you'd like took all of these action figures from different properties and made them fight each other.
I'm
It
going to
was
say
that.
yes to make you feel better.
Thank you. Yeah, it's that, except there's like an actual story behind it.
Oh.
Other than, wouldn't this be cool? Yeah, it would. There's like reasons, and yeah. Batman fighting Shredder.
Ooh.
Just Batman fighting Shredder.
I didn't know I wanted that.
Yeah, right?
but now you do.
A little bit.
And you know what? James Tynion IV gave it to you. It is a gift.
I know. I'm just probably going to, I don't know. Batman is the only reoccurring comic book I might keep from the Great Purge that is happening.
It's good. Like Tom King, I also think has been getting a bad rap, but he's also very divisive. Some people think he's the greatest thing to happen to Batman. Some people think he's the worst thing to happen to Batman.
I haven't disliked any of the Batman
it's-
runs since Rebirth started.
I still think that a lot of it kind of, especially like what's going on now, feels a lot more kind of filler-y. I get why he's doing it, but it's I don't care a whole lot about it. So it's like
I'm having a hard time getting around that.
there's a thing over here, and I know that's where you're going, and I cannot wait to see that. In the meantime, you're doing a really cool thing here, but that's not over here. Like, let's just move that over here, because like the last 2 issues have been. Well, I don't want to spoil it for.
It's like going to Vegas
'cause I
but
haven't.
stopping in Reno to gamble.
A little bit, but it's just like, okay, we're here, and I get it, and this is impactful and meaningful, but like, let's go.
It's more like going to Vegas and stopping in Branson.
Oh.
That's all
much
what it feels
worse.
like because the payoff, like we can tell what it's going to be, and I'm excited about it.
Have you seen the cover for 85?
Yeah, yeah.
I want that as
So,
a poster.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. Like I know where we're going, and I'm real excited to get there. But we were taking a real long time. It's almost like go back to your Dragon Ball Z days. You're watching Goku charge that spirit bomb. You know it's going to be awesome.
See, and
I watched Namek blow up for a whole season.
and it's not quite that because Goku charging up the spirit bomb, that's all it was. There was no real story that happened. It was just
Well, there was. It was all the people and what they were doing in their lives to contribute to the spirit bomb.
yeah, but it's not but it's lame like
almost
that.
made it.
This is
Almost made it.
this is at least like it is directly affecting Batman and Bruce Wayne, and it is a meaningful, important thing. I just care less about this side of things than I do the go punch Bane in the face a lot.
And I really like once we got to City of Bane.
It also kind of bums me out that I think that's just what it's going to be because I feel like he's not going to spend a lot of time because he got a shortened run. He's not going to spend a whole lot of time like how is he going to get back? Because I feel like that should be a thing. Like, how is he going to infiltrate Gotham and, get past all of this and know these things are going on too? It feels like that's just going to kind of Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope, here I am, everything's back, fight time. Oh, this happened? Oh, super fight time.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I also see it going that direction, but maybe it won't. We'll have to see. It wouldn't.
And despite
wouldn't
how it
surprise
ends,
me.
despite how it lands, issue 86 is going to be written by James Tynion IV.
Yeah, with art by Tony Daniel.
Also, something is. I think you would actually really, really like something if you can get a #1. Something is killing the children.
I just can't afford to add more.
I know
comics,
but where there's a will,
I gotta cut where I can.
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, I don't have the will.
Believe in yourself.
Because Trevor also doesn't like horror a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't really do horror a lot. It's surprising considering I love Hellblazer.
That, and
like,
that's
the dark
honestly what I was.
comic.
That's
Like,
what I was basing it on. Is like
Yeah.
if you like Hellblazer, because it's not like super magic-y, and
Yeah.
but
I like supernatural comics.
I think you would like the main character in Something is Killing the Children.
Yeah.
I think you would like her a lot.
But yeah, just in general, like I know
I'm
Trevor
not
does.
either.
Trevor doesn't do a whole lot of horror, like, but he
That's fair.
No.
he digs on the supernatural stuff, but like more supernatural action as opposed to supernatural
Like
terror.
spooky.
Yeah.
It's true. As a
Okay.
kid, I was afraid of supernatural stuff, so hence why I like Hellblazer and whatnot. Makes total sense.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I got you. All right, is that all you got, Asa?
Yes, and also it looks like the twice monthlies isn't actually ending until 2020.
That's what I thought.
Now, and few select titles remain on that schedule. The publisher will now end double shipping books altogether, with all remaining titles shipping once a month in 2020.
Yep. So yeah, going through December. So either way, you can keep I would recommend keeping Batman through the end of this run since you're almost done with it anyway.
Yeah.
You can just finish out the Tom King run, and then the James Tynion run starts in January, and that should be hopefully a significant uptick. It's not like it's really gone that down, but regardless, like you should be able to get back into it pretty easy with Tynion's run.
And that's
Yeah.
going to be a jumping on point. Like I'm sure that
Yep.
first issue will be kind of a recap of why everything the status quo that has been changed is now
And again,
changed.
I still recommend King's Run.
Yeah, you
it's
can,
just
like-
I have been a little down, like a lot of people have been really down on it, but I've been a little down on it because of just how many issues we've gotten without the story progressing as much as I would like it to. Because no, it's not as bad as Dragon Ball Z, but it's still kind of
Nothing's as bad
chugging
as
along.
Dragon Ball Z.
No. Well, maybe other things that are copies of Dragon Ball Z, like Naruto and Bleach and whatnot. Regardless, Trevor, it's bringing
Yeah.
you joy, homie.
Oh, so many things. For one, I don't know if I'm stealing this from you. Probably am. Binged watch Disenchanted. In 2 days, Disenchantment. Isn't it? I keep calling it Disenchanted.
A lot of you and Andrew both.
Yeah, Disenchantment. If you don't know what that is, you're missing out. What's the creator's name again?
Matt Groening.
Yeah, Matt Groening, same guy who created Futurama, Simpsons. The art style definitely shows it. High fantasy version, and
There's so many Futurama references in part 2.
so many. And yeah, they just dropped part 2. If you watch the first season, you'll know that the second to last episode is when the story happens.
Yeah, because this is unlike the rest of Matt Groening's projects. Disenchantment. One of the things that I really like about it is that it's more of it's an ongoing story.
It's a narrative. Yeah,
as
you can't
opposed
just
to-
jump in.
It's not an episodic.
Right, with
Monster of the
Simpsons,
week.
you can jump into any episode of The Simpsons and be just fine.
They will
Same
be
thing
on
with
that
Futurama.
couch.
Yeah, and Futurama, you can
Yeah.
jump into pretty much any episode of Futurama. There are certain exceptions in there, I'll grant you, where they reference older episodes or almost anything with Sideshow Bob in it in The Simpsons, and there are exceptions, but on the whole, you could just jump in any episode of Futurama, laugh a little bit, have a good time, and then walk away. Same thing with The Simpsons. Disenchantment, if you just jump into a random episode, you're going to be extremely lost.
Especially in part 2. I would say part 1, they spent the entire season minus the last two episodes basically just establishing who these characters were and giving you just fleshing out characters. But again, season 1 of Futurama, go back and watch it. it doesn't hold up as well as you think it does.
I still rewatch it pretty frequently.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm fine with it. But I will say, like, Disenchantment, I think that the show would be way more successful if they had just done part 1 and part 2 at the same time.
Oh, agreed. 100%.
Yeah. Either way, continue.
Oh, yeah. So, loving that. Part 2, really good. Expands on that whole universe and everything in it, which is really kind of... There's so many more questions I have after watching part 2. I don't know about you. So many questions.
Have they confirmed that there will be a part 3?
You're gonna have to.
No, they don't have to.
See, that's the thing is... I know you want
I'll
them
burn
to.
things down if we don't get a part 3. I don't know. I would assume...
I don't remember the deal they gave Matt Groening, because I don't remember if it was for 2 seasons or the 2 parts that we got.
I
also hate that they do that. It's part 1, part 2. No, it's season 1. Just call it season 1, season 2.
Yeah, but...
Especially if you're going to divide it.
But it doesn't work like
Oh,
this.
good. Disenchantment has been renewed for a 3rd season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent, because there are questions I have.
I needs to know more.
Oh, yeah. Needs to know more about that. And I just like high fantasy. So the world, all that, it checks my buttons. And speaking of high fantasy, the other thing I was hyped about is got to do my first D&D one-shot as a DM, and which has kind of given me a lot of fuel, a lot of things to learn from going forth into my, DM career and a campaign I'm going to start here in October, or probably the end of October. So yeah, that was super fun. It was enjoyable being on the other side of the screen and dealing with all the difficulties I imagine your roommate deals with us.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you run into as a DM that like there's problems you don't expect. Like your players is just something that you write in, or like in a module or something like that. You see like, yeah, of course my players are gonna definitely get this. Then they don't.
No, you guys took forever to open that safe.
We really did. We took so long. If only we would have like had a clue about Open Sesame, that would have been really funny.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
That would have been a good one.
There was like 8 different ways to open that thing.
That's true. We got it open.
You got it open. We had
That's
fun.
what's important. And yeah, it was a super fun campaign. I got to try out a pretty fun character that I had been wanting to mess with for a little while.
Oh yeah, Jesse likes
neat.
opening combat of the campaign is him just roasting like 3 dudes to nothing.
I was a
Like
very
Ben roasting, like with hurtful word, vicious mockery. Hurtful word.
No, I did a half orc sorcerer that can only use lightning and wind magic.
That sounds like a fart joke.
That's not true at all. You cast Shatter.
Oh yeah, I did. Because I thought shatter thunder damage is why I did shatter.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the kind of damage it does.
I ain't gonna hold you to it. I don't care.
Nah, that's fair. I also did prestidigitation, but
Yeah.
that word is weirdly hard to say.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah. There's
Spend an entire campaign as a warlock and have that as a cantrip. You learn that one.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
That's not as bad as thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy. I think thaumaturgy. Prestidigitation just has a lot of I don't know, like a lot of those hard consonants in the middle, and I think that's what makes it weird to say.
Kind of.
But either way, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, that was the first time I'd played a magic user, which was neat. And yeah, I used a level 3 spell, was the first spell I cast in the game. And I wasn't expecting it to be quite as effective.
Oh, it was super effective. Especially since like it was the first enemies you guys really encountered, so their health wasn't super high.
But it was perfect. They were in a hallway. The hallway was the exact width of the lightning bolt.
Oh yeah, it was a good shot. It was fun. It's really interesting to see from a DM perspective to see like the setup, and I have so many venues and ideas, and if you go here then this, if you go here then this. And to see you guys take completely different approaches to what I mentally thought you might.
Yeah, no,
that's why I don't think I could ever DM. Because I don't think I can think quick enough on my feet to, like, go with it. Because I wouldn't want to just be like,
I'm a really good BSer.
We want to go into the inn. The inn's closed. Or we pick the lock. Like, stop it.
Yeah, that's
the giant face in the sky says no.
It looks oddly similar to Asa.
You hit a rendering screen of some kind.
It's like in one of the Arkham games where it's Batman just walking into the invisible wall, but it's just 2 lines of police tape in front of the stairs.
Yeah, no, it is really hard to not
no,
railroad
a shin-
players as a GM.
A shin high ledge. Whatever will I do?
Or in Pokemon, like, however could I make it through this gap in this tree? I'm screwed. I have to stay on the road. Yeah, no, it was a fun campaign. We all had a pretty fun time, I think. I know, like, we all made some pretty ridiculous characters. Well, no,
Oh God, yeah.
I say we all. I think Bobby's was pretty average.
Dwarf Warlock is kind of neat. But yeah.
Well, he didn't do a warlock. He did a cleric.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so
I
it
don't know
was,
why I
Duh,
thought
you
he did.
idiot.
and then Andrew
Magic
did
user.
a halfling barbarian.
Oh my God, that was my favorite. It was a weird rage thing. So, like, without going into major detail, what basically happened the first time Andrew went at a guy, like, who was on low health already, he just, like, opens his shirt, blasts a thing of light from his chest. It just disintegrated this thing.
It's the wild rage table. It's similar to like that wild magic thing that Steven was doing in our campaign, where you rolled a dice and it had different effects. depending on
That
what you
thing
did.
that Andrew never did.
Yeah. We had so his barbarian had that instead of like Trevor's version of rage for his barbarian.
So every time he raged, like a random effect would happen.
Yeah,
And he just kept rolling the same one where he just open his chest and scream his character's name and just blind radiant damage them. It was hilarious.
It was
it was
funny.
good for flavor.
Except like both times he did it, he killed the thing, so he raged at it, and then like that was it. Like
Yeah.
that was the last enemy.
Now the second one, he raged at it, it blinded it, and then immediately
man.
rolled the highest damage on like his attack, and it he just claved the man in twain, as you would say. As the kids say.
It was a fun time. It was a fun time. All right, buddy, what else you got?
I mean, that's the most on my nerd things. My other thing I'm kind of getting geared up and hyped about is I finished my half marathon, first half marathon I've ever done, which was cool. And most importantly, I didn't throw up in front of anyone or at all.
As far as
And
anyone knows.
As far as anyone knows. And I only stopped to poop and tie my shoes. So I'm getting geared up for triathlon in the spring. So I'm kind of getting a little jazzed about that. I got a good bicycle for it and everything. So, and I'm gonna jump in the pool for the first time in like 8 years. And see if I can swim.
Hair immediately reverts.
Right.
That would be
Or
really
he just
unfortunate.
immediately just leaves the
bleach.
water.
the chlorine.
Comes out with just white hair. Looks like he got struck by lightning.
And the pool's just like, I remember.
We call him pool blessed.
We meet again.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start. I think like a good training regimen for that is like 16 weeks out. But I got to do something between now and then. Otherwise, I'm going to lose what I've gained. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, going to start swimming, biking a lot soon. Kind of excited about it a little, as weirdly as that sounds.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, those are my hype things.
All right. Well, in mine.
Besides the obvious one we're going to get to.
Yeah. Disenchantment. The Righteous Gemstones.
That's what happens when the conductor goes last.
Right? Especially when like a lot of my friends have very similar interests. I finally read through Tom King's The Vision.
Yeah.
Which was like it had won all sorts of awards and everything else was like hyped up to be this incredible run. And it was. That was real good. Sorry, I got something caught my throat there. No, it was.
Did you get a Batman stuck in your throat?
Did you enter into the pact? Oh, that actually got him.
That's good stuff. I like that. Yeah, good old Borderlands is so good, so good. Either way, yeah, no, that's pretty much it there for me. Oh, the Colts are 2-1 without Andrew Luck. I'm real excited about that.
Hey.
Won a couple of tough games against some tough teams.
And the season has officially started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We just wrapped up week 3 of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Colts are 2-1.
And Kansas City's looking good.
Oh God.
I'm calling Kansas City this year.
Yeah, Kansas City, like Patrick Mahomes is a football god.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go too much into sports with this,
But he just
because-
throwing fire.
Yeah, no, like
I think he's supposed to throw a football.
Oh yeah, he's doing it differently there. They're changing the game.
It turns into a football on time. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I miss Mutant League football.
it's still regulation.
It's still regulation.
It was ridiculous. Like just real quick football thing for it with like how good this dude is. They just had a home game this last week, and I play a lot of fantasy football. The game that
Do you have Mahomes as your QB?
I do not.
Oh.
Unfortunately, like Tanner drafted him super early, and everybody made fun of him. Now he's laughing. No, so we had we did fantasy football. Like this was supposed to be one of the highest scoring games of the weekend, is what it was touted as. That morning, I get a weather alert. It's Kansas City. I mean, they have open stadium. The weather is supposed to be atrocious. Super high and heavy winds. That stadium's already pretty windy. Super high and heavy winds, a whole lot of rain, stuff like that. So I was like, all right, cool. Benching everybody from that game. Not that I had any like superstars going, but I benched everybody that was going to play in that game. And Patrick Mahomes proved that 35-mile-per-hour wind, no big deal.
No, not when you throw on fire.
Dude threw an 88-yard touchdown. I think ball traveled like 60 yards or something absolutely insane like that. It's an exaggeration, but regardless, monster throw. Gets that touchdown. It's so windy in the stadium that the kicker shanks the extra point afterward. Mahomes could have thrown the ball into the uprights for that extra point.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
don't they let them do that?
It's probably easier. It's easier to throw the ball through the
Because
uprights.
you got to
than it is
give the kicker
kick it.
a reason to be there.
I think from thrice the distance Mahomes could have thrown the ball through the uprights. It's insane. Like he's weatherproof. He's whatever. Like he's just rocking it. All right, that's the end of football talk. I'm sorry. I'll move on from I'm sure somebody like sports ball. So yeah, moving away from sports here into Borderlands.
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 So yeah, like we did end up doing Asa stayed at my apartment. We talked about it obviously earlier in the episode. He was at my apartment the entire weekend. Like Friday we drove up to Villainous Grounds. He brought his stuff with him, went straight to my house, and he was at my house until Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And we were playing Borderlands.
A significant portion of that time.
Yeah.
We also we kind of synced up a little bit because it was like Friday we stopped at like 3:30 in the morning because we were both just like, I don't think I can go much longer, and it's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, because I was sitting there just like I didn't want to disappoint Asa. I think Asa didn't want to disappoint me.
Exactly
Like,
that.
So you
And
guys
then-
probably went on an extra 2 hours longer than you really wanted to.
Probably a solid hour.
Yeah,
I'll
easy-
go an hour.
An easy hour longer.
And then so Saturday we started at probably about 10, played pretty well all day, went and got Taco Bell, watched an episode of King of the Hill, started up again, and then at like 1 or 1:30 we're like, all right, we're calling it a lot earlier tonight.
Yeah.
And then Sunday Jesse slept in quite a bit. So because it was Sunday morning is when I when I read, because my sleep schedule is apparently ironclad. I say that now. Watch me be like late for work or something tomorrow.
You put it out there in the ether, man.
Exactly. It's gonna have to adjust to when I move because that tacks on an extra like 10 minutes to my commute.
Ooh.
But so so I'm reading comics and then we only play for like an hour or two, and then Trevor, you were free.
Yeah,
So then we jumped into your campaign
Yeah.
for like another maybe hour, and then
Yeah.
that was when I
Yeah, because we
You went
only
and did,
played
like,
because I had
laundry
because I had to
things.
do like I had to go home and shower. Like I had to shower.
No, I was surprised you showed up to play to begin with.
because I think Asa had, I want to say we were playing until like I woke up at around like 10:30. I did sleep in quite a bit because I did not sleep in on Saturday.
Yeah.
After staying up as late as I did. So yeah, I think like probably from 11 to about 2 o'clock on Sunday, because I want to say we were almost done with the noon games of football, because I also had the setup we had going in my apartment was Asa was on my couch. I grabbed one of my monitors, and he had a monitor set up on my couch, or on the coffee table in front of the couch. Dalton was also there on Friday night. I had another monitor set up. He was on the other couch looking at the coffee table. And then I had my huge armchair in front of my 55-inch 4K TV.
Inches away.
I think it's 3 feet.
Technically in inches.
Technically,
Yeah,
inches.
36 inches. It's so I was very, very close to my 55-inch 4K television playing this game. And that's the setup we maintained. Dalton wasn't able to hang out with us much longer than just Friday night. But yeah, so Sunday though, because like I've got to watch my footballs. I had the Colts game going on my laptop on the arm of my huge armchair while I was playing Borderlands.
Honestly, that's how I play a lot of Assassin's Creed games.
Oh, that's fair.
Just grab my tablet, set it up right next to me, and I'll watch like King of the Hill while I'm playing video games.
King of the Hill is my favorite like background show for while I'm playing any game.
Mm-hmm.
It's good old King of the Hill. But yeah, no, that was a super fun weekend of Borderlands, and then I played with Trevor the next night, and we haven't played since.
No, yeah.
I put a solid amount of time in this past weekend.
What level are you at?
I haven't played as Moe's I haven't played Moe's since that
Really?
Sunday. Yeah. But I started a new camp because I wasn't
Who
sure.
you playing now?
Because I wasn't sure if we were going to do a thing where it was like, okay, well, Jesse and I will continue through the story. We're like, we'll get you guys caught up, and then we'll just kind of go together.
Don't wait for me. Just go at your own pace and what you want to do.
So I started a new game with Zane. I really like Zane. And it kind of bums me out, like looking at the subreddit and all the mid-maxers and like, this is the best build, one-shotting bosses and nonsense like that. Apparently Zane is the worst of the Vault Hunters.
Zane is worst solo run apparently.
Yeah.
Super great support character.
Granted, I am still like early in the game. I'm only on the second planet. I haven't even gotten to Kilovolt yet. And I feel like that's probably going to be the test. Like I'm running through that quest line right now.
Yeah, if you can take out Kilovolt.
But between the shield and the drone, I'm having a great time. I like having abilities I can fire off every like 45 seconds instead of having to wait 2 minutes for the Iron Bear to last like 10 seconds. That said, I still love Moe's, and I like some of the guns that I have on her. Because I haven't found a gun that I truly love with Zane yet. Granted, I'm only like level 15, but
Still plenty of time in there.
But I also
Oh,
think
yeah.
he's like I think he's funnier. And maybe it's because I wasn't hearing.
I do love Zane's one-lines and his dialogue so much better. Because Jesse's been playing Zane when he's been playing with me. I love Zane's dialogue.
But I also I very much look forward, after seeing Jesse get as far as we did with Amara, I want to play as Amara. And also Flak. I want to play, so I'm real interested in Flak, especially because I will absolutely do the cheese.
Oh, the min-maxing cheese with him?
Yeah, where it's just oh yeah, no, everything just dies.
Everything dies.
You become
Everything's
death.
a crit.
Yeah, exactly.
I started doing that build when we first started playing because sniper rifles are currently garbage. But I've found I really, really love his little racks because they remind me of Bloodwing from Borderlands 1 on crack. And the achievement for killing so many things with them is called Angry Flap Flaps. It's awesome. Yeah, and
this game.
and the cooldown is nothing. And you get 2 charges, and I have mine upgraded where 3 racks come out per charge. And so I can just shoot out 6 of them. They do ridiculous damage, return health, always bring me back to full health, and just gnaw through multiple enemies.
And it's and just some of the things that you can do, so Flak has the super crazy beast damage. Moe's, apparently there's a build you can get up to and depending if you get a certain shield with it or something, you can get 15,000 shield.
Jeez.
And that's not even the upper end of it.
Great googly moogly.
Yeah, and so and you can do there's all these crazy different builds that I haven't looked into yet because I just kind of picking and choosing what I'm working on now.
Yeah, I just kind of play as you go,
So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm sure there's a better phase cast build for Amara than what I've been playing with.
Yeah.
That said, I love my phase cast build because I just nuke mobs of enemies from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Just great. And I really like it. I wish that Borderlands had a feature where, and I get why they don't, but I really wish they had a feature where you could take those legendary weapons and pay a certain whatever to
level them up
re-roll
to
them
you.
to level up, because I don't ever want to give up the Nighthawken I love that gun.
Oh, is that the one that switches between
The
fire
Stranger
and
Things
ice?
SMG.
Yeah.
I found out the reason that it occasionally fires like 3 shots per bullet is because I've got the Arctic prefix or the cryo prefix, and since it already has cryo damage, like whenever it's set to that, that's when it does 3 bullets to 1 round. Which is just like it's insane damage. It's redonkulous.
Yeah.
I'm liking in the Borderlands 2 playthrough we did, I was liking snipers a lot more than I ever have in a game before.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one I'm loving pistols. Like if I
Really?
can get me a Jacobs I haven't found a great one yet, but like get me a Jacobs pistol with more than 4 rounds in a magazine, and I'm so happy.
Oh, see, I'm doing Jacob's assault rifle.
See,
I
that's
love
another,
the assault rifles.
that's another one that's like every assault rifle I find is Torg, and I hate the Torg assault rifles.
Yeah,
That's fair.
they are
The-
not good.
I
The
just feel like-
Jacobs assault rifles are the semi-automatic again.
Yeah.
And they're actually really good.
They're
Oh yeah,
so
no,
good.
I think I had one on Moe's for a while, but then I eventually just outleveled it. Then there
as
was
is the case with
I did find a
Borderlands.
legendary
Yep.
that I think it's a story mission that you get. Like it's one that it's a quest because I'm pretty sure I had it from Moe's, but I never used it. But I used it on this. It's a pistol, and I don't remember what it's called. But the little flavor text is "You're getting closer." ... No, you're not, or something like that. And it shows like when you look at it, it says it only has 1 bullet in the magazine, but you don't. It's just a pistol with infinite ammo that you never reload,
oh, well, that's
Oh.
nice.
and it's a fully auto.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Lord.
that's interesting.
But it only does like 7 damage per shot, so at a certain point, like I had to
so
let
you're
it
just
go.
burning through ammo.
Well, no, because there is no ammo. It's just
Oh.
it's infinite ammo.
Oh,
But at a certain
I heard you just don't have to reload. This is actually just infinite ammo.
yeah. At least I
Oh.
never began to I never had to restock on ammo, and I never picked up anymore because that was the only gun I was using. but at a certain point, it was just like, okay, this is just taking too much time to actually kill an enemy,
Your
even with
DPS
like
is
all
too low.
crips. Yeah,
Yeah.
so so I get why they don't let you do that. You just have to kind of hope
Yeah.
for it, but.
You have to refine it because like the Nighthawken is getting to the point now where like as we were playing it, I was having trouble killing things unless I had the cryo up because I had to be firing the multiple shots.
In case you haven't noticed, the vault in your room does carry over between character to character.
Yeah, I actually had kept meaning
Which
to tell you about that.
Bums me out because it's like, oh man, look how little space do you have. I feel like this is Destiny 1,
Well, you can buy
where it's
more.
like, look, yeah, but even when you max out, like
It's like
between
36,
4
I think.
characters, like some of those legendaries you want to hold on to.
In fairness,
It's just
you
there's
can
just not a lot of.
you have you have the 36 spaces there, and then you have like the spaces on the wall too. So you do have a little extra, and the wall spaces don't transfer between characters, so you can have a different wall set up for each character,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. Because I'm trying to get the when I found out the bank was shared when I was playing through with Zane on Trevor's playthrough. I was like, oh man, I've got a lot of really good legendaries for like lower levels. I can grab those as I level up. And then I remembered like, oh, I put them all on the wall. So I would have to actually log in as Amara, move them out into the bank.
Not worth it. We'll go find stuff.
Zane will get
Right.
something cool.
I'll find some neat stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm really enjoying this game. I need to play it some more. I desperately want to play it some more. I am actually like restricting myself from playing. Like, no, you have to finish Fire Emblem because
Yeah.
if you don't, you won't.
And I'm kind of like, you have to pack
Yeah.
and get
that's fair.
stuff organized and throw stuff away and clean. Cause
I'm like, you have a wife.
we move we move in, like the movers are coming on Sunday for her, so Sunday night we're in.
It sounded really ominous.
No, because like
movers are coming Sunday for her.
well, because it's coming up quickly, and then I need to progressively work on getting my stuff out. Like I would like to get it sometime that week, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But and then we have charter coming on Monday, so like that turnaround's real nice.
That's really nice.
I was
You don't have
surprised.
to go at night without internet.
Yep. Which easy.
Yeah, you
It's
got
not gonna be
phones.
easy.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. We got data. I'm sure I have DVD somewhere.
Can't go a night without it. What's the longest you've been without internet since you went to college?
Do you count mobile data?
Mm,
Because like I have house sat for my grandparents, and that was like 4 straight days, and they have no internet. But I had my phone. But
Yeah,
I couldn't
I'll
use
count that.
I couldn't use my phone as much as I wanted to because I did not have unlimited data.
really? So
I was-
4 days as long as you've been without internet?
Probably. No, I mean that's probably not true.
Oh wow.
No, because I've always had my phone with me at least. But like Bonnaroo, that's probably about 4 days.
I think for me it's like a month and a half.
But
When
I
I
also
moved into a place and my roommate didn't have internet, and I was poor at that point, and I was like, well, I can't afford to get internet put in yet, so I'm going to watch Coming to America every night because I have 4 DVDs.
I also like just have no desire to go without internet. Like, if I had to, I probably could be fine, but I don't want to.
You haven't been forced in the position to survive yet.
Right.
It's fair.
Yeah, because I think 2 weeks for me.
2 weeks?
The longest. Yeah,
As long as you went without internet?
Yeah, it was when we were in Russia.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. We didn't have internet in Russia, did we?
And that was before smartphones, which, I mean, even if, like, we had smartphones, I mean,
I remember
it would've
going to an internet cafe and, like, sending an email to my parents, but that's about it.
Yeah, and we didn't go to the internet cafe, like, in my trip.
Yeah.
Because I remember you guys were talking about it, we just never went.
It's not worth going.
Yeah.
All the keyboards are in Russian. That part took a minute.
And I have gone, like...
I hope it's QWERTY.
Yeah. It was luckily the same setup, so I was just going from typing class when I was in junior high. I was able to bang out a correct email.
But I think with, like, legitimate being without internet, I had, and I mean, like, I obviously was legitimately without internet in Russia, but we were obviously way too busy doing other stuff to really worry about not having internet. One time, it was when I was living in that place over on Hemlock. I had taken vacation from work, and day one of vacation, and this was like I had the place to myself because this was in that period of time when Garrett moved out, Ben hadn't moved in yet.
Yeah.
I decided to take a vacation from work. Somebody cut our internet line. Like they were doing work behind the apartment complex.
Oh my God.
And cut the line.
I would have lost my mind.
I did lose my mind on the operator, who ended up being super cool about it. Because I started like, man, I'm freaking out. I need the internet. And they're like, okay, so
Look at me. Do you know how long it's been since I've had internet? It's been like 7 minutes already, sir.
So I talked to him. He actually, for the first time ever, a charter person on the phone gave me a huge discount on my bill that month. Like it was all but free, and I was only without it for a week.
Yeah.
But it was really unfortunate because it was the week I was on vacation. So I got a lot of reading done. I watched a lot of DVDs. Played some single player games.
Yeah, because you realize, like, you're like, well, I'll just watch well, I don't have TV anymore. I watch everything on streaming. I guess no, that's internet too.
Because
I listen to some music. I don't like the radio. Dang it.
Because this was also like I had an iPhone 3G at the time. And that was like, I mean, yeah, you can browse the internet, you can do like Facebook sorta. Because this was like the 4s were out, the 3s run real slow. I could sort of watch like Netflix, kinda.
There was a YouTube app.
There was a YouTube app, but I also didn't have unlimited data, so yeah, that just didn't get used.
Yeah,
a
lot of books get read.
A lot of books got read. I got completely caught up on my comic book and novel backlog.
I would legitimately have to be without internet for months to get caught up on all of that. I have so many, like for a while out of college, like when I had moved back, Barnes & Noble was my jam. I spent so much money on, because they would constantly send me like, hey, 20% off. Like, well, can't just let that go to waste. I have so many books that I have not read that I want to, but it just, the priorities are so much. It's so far down on my priority list.
You're never going to read them,
I'm not. Oh, no, I am aware of that.
All right, well, we'll send the technician from Jesse's house to your place. You can get some reading done.
But I need the background noise, Trevor. Because that's when the thoughts come, is in the quiet.
Pandora, my phone ran Pandora just fine. So I was going to say,
also, I mean, like, I have unlimited data now, so just prop that up, YouTube.
But,
pretty soon I'll have Stadia, so I can just, all right, here we go.
I think had I still been...
no, that wouldn't work on data.
Had I not been on vacation, I definitely would not have been able to get caught up on my books, but because it was a straight 5 days. I had 5 days... with zero plans. It was going to be a staycation. I was barely going to be clothed because I was I was completely alone in my apartment. Like the apartment
Like that
was
sounds
me
like
only.
just the greatest thing ever. Just 5 days in an apartment by yourself.
Right.
Yeah, with
like,
nothing to do.
I had-
I'd lie to everyone and tell them I left town too,
Yep.
so nobody tried to call me. I'm like, I'm going camping. Don't get cell phone service. Don't check up on me.
I bought enough groceries to last me the 5 days. Like I didn't leave my apartment. Or my plan was not to leave my apartment at all for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up leaving my apartment after about day 3 because I was getting a little stir crazy because no internet.
See, the internet keeps us sane. It's good for you.
I could not leave the house for that long period. After like a day, if I don't leave, like go outside after a day, I feel stir crazy.
I
a
could
lot
stay.
of reading to do.
Maybe
That's
this is just the depression. I could stay in bed for a day. The reaction I'm getting at the table tells me that's probably not great.
It's not a healthy thing, Asa.
I mean, I understand that it's not healthy, but it feels good.
No, because I've tried like staying in bed for like extended periods of time, like when I don't have anything to do, like on a Saturday.
I always feel like garbage.
Yeah, no, I physically am uncomfortable.
Yes.
Not anything else. Like my head starts hurting, like my back, and it feels weird. Like,
I-
and I
you
have
know
a
what-
super comfortable bed.
You know what fixes that? Going to sleep.
See, I just
And then you wake up and you're like, well, what time is it? Where am I? It doesn't matter. I'm going to roll back over and go to sleep.
see. I made a rule for myself a while back. I was like, no matter what you do, no matter because I had the severe depression, and that let's not leave the house. But I was like, no matter what I do, I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna shower and get dressed, and that was the benchmark.
Oh, no, I'll shower. Like, I'll get out of bed. Like, you go to the bathroom.
Oh, you get up. So you get up, shower, and go crawl back in.
Yes.
Oh, you're fine then. By my standards, by that rules I set up, you're still good.
Score.
It's not sad. You're
Healthy.
good. You're
So
totally
healthy.
fine. You tell that therapist she's full of it.
Life goals.
All right, guys. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been playing Borderlands 3, let us know. Hit us up on that Twitter, that Facebook's.
Do you want to play Borderlands with us?
Hit us up on
We
that
might
Twitter,
be able to
that
find some
Facebook.
time at some point.
Yeah, for real. And somebody give me an excuse to buy the game on PC.
He doesn't need much.
I don't need much.
The problem is I have an excuse to buy it on PS4. I just don't have the money to do it.
I also have an excuse to buy it on PS4, but I just don't. I would then also have to buy PlayStation Plus, and I don't want to do that right
Honestly,
now.
I keep that updated.
I don't, because there's nothing on my PlayStation that I need internet for.
If you don't have it, or if you haven't played it, or you want to play it again, the October free game of the month, one of them is going to be Last of Us Remastered. That got announced today, so...
Yeah, it would be cheaper just to buy Last of Us Remastered at this point.
I mean, yeah, but... I'm just saying.
No, that's fair. Like, if I had literally anything to play online on PlayStation 4, I would. But, like, any PlayStation 4 game I want to play is offline. I have honestly no reason to buy PlayStation Plus other than the
free
instant
games.
game collection. All right, so that's going to do it for us, guys. We'll see you next time. Oh, hit that Patreon, too. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. It's $1.
Specifically raunchy one on tonight's episode.
Yeah.
It was a little.
We crossed some lines, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. So yeah, $1 gets you access to all of the pre-shows that we've ever done. If you keep it going, you'll obviously, $1 per month get you all the pre-shows to come as well. So yeah, check that out. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. It's Facebook and Twitter / the same thing. Yeah, see you next time.